Yo, what's going on? Sound like the video is just the Jay the Prophet, the good in the hood, man. We got some Karen versus Karen action. We out here in Davis, California, up there by Sacramento. This is California Library, and we have some conservatives, I guess, maybe religious speakers speaking in front of a LGBT crowd, or maybe just people in the audience for that. So I'll let y'all listen in. I'm gonna tap in from point to point. One of the second rules is speak and act in a manner that doesn't disturb others during meetings like this. So I just asked during this meeting, we can all just respect each other, hear each other out. There will be a question time at the end, so please leave comments and questions for the end. And that way we can just get through this smoothly. Perfect. All right. Well, I am Sophia Laurie. I work for California Family Council. We do a lot of testifying at the Capitol, going through legislation, reading through the bills, urging people what's going to happen on the different bills, as well as I am a host of a podcast called This Is a Woman Podcast. And the goal of the podcast is women like are currently being erased in society. And I want to amplify and share their voices and testimonies. So, at today's meeting, you're going to be hearing about the CIF, or here we have the Forum Vision. So, the goal of the meeting is to empower and protect girls' sports and female athletes, defend the original intent of Title IX, and create a powerful network of coaches, parents, and girls' sports supporters. So, you guys are going to hear from quite a few amazing people today talking about Title IX, talking about the physiological advantage of male athletes. Talking about emotional and psychological impact on girls when men play on their sports teams. So you guys are going to hear from quite a different few people, but before we start, I just want to share a little bit about myself.
Are you going to misgender people throughout the entire thing?
Questions are safe for the... Uh-oh. So Boy tapped in. Before she even said anything, I believe, she did say women are being erased, and she made a statement about the name of her podcast being something about women. It just sounded like it would have offended some of them supporters. But let's get back in. So Boy tapped in. Are you gonna misgender people? So he's already putting the ball on the tee, as you can see, and they ready to swing, coming in as some aggressors. You know what I mean? Let's get back to it. Questions are safe for the end. Thank you very much.
You will be asked to leave if you interrupt during the middle of the meeting. Please respect the library rules.
Misgendering. I'm sorry. Are we allowing misgendering?
Questions are safe for the end, and we'll answer any questions then and talk through things then. Thank you.
This is the library. I don't want any transgender females being called males in sporting events with females. If that happens, it's not following our code of conduct, and you will ask the person who says it to leave immediately.
He ain't even got to speak yet. And you can clearly hear the crowd. You see the numbers in the crowd. I do believe there are some of her supporters there because it's a conservative It's a speaking event. I believe when they talk about it later on, I'm not sure if I'm going to skip that part or not, but she actually stated that they rented that building out, right? So you have all these LGBT supporters attending this person's event, okay? So it's kind of like a protest maybe. Let's see.
That I'd like to give you the written library requirements that abrogate our First Amendment rights, that compel us to speak in a different way. Can you provide those for us?
Trans women are women.
California state law, California state law recognizes trans women as women. They are protected under state law.
Sir.
Our policy talks about treating people with respect. And if you are misgendering somebody, that is not respectful. That will not be acceptable.
automatically the guy who's running the library is already threatening them to say, if you misgender anybody, I will shut this down. It's against California law. And this happened August this year, August 20th, maybe it got posted August 20th. Could have happened sometime before that. But it's under my belief, even though they are making laws for parents, not having the ability to to decide their kids' gender identity, and the kids getting to decide. There are bills like that in the process. We do have a radical, I would just say radical, just in terms of ideology, leader in the Senate, Scott Wiener. Okay, so and he's from the Bay or somewhere up north in California. So he's actually, all these bills are going through. His name's going to be on 99.999, maybe even 100% of these bills. He's pushing everything through. The one that lower, it's a lot going on. Let's get back to the video.
California state law recognizes trans women as women. They are protected under state law. Our policy talks about treating people with respect. And if you are misgendering somebody, that is not respectful. That will not be acceptable.
Perhaps you could tell us what California code requires us?
I'm sorry.
Could you direct us to the California code?
I don't have it with me. I'm sorry.
So she's asking for the code, the actual law that requires them to follow this guideline about you have to refer to women, trans women, as women. You can't refer to them as men or ever being a man. And so I could see where some people could see that being absurd, coming from certain religions, certain backgrounds where someone has been told that they can't, like, essentially, to through their minds say the truth. They're told they have to only speak a lie, right? When they believe in their truth that this is the case, right? This is a man participating in a women's sport. So it gets confusing when you look at other people's beliefs. When you look at the legal the state side of it, you realize, like, hey, like, well, everybody has rights. We got to follow these rules. And you see they're making more and more rules. So you see the state is actually making the laws for this guy in the library to say, hey, you can't do that. So, like, they're writing the rules as it plays out. So you have people, protesting against certain things, but they're actually making a law. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't tell your kid. They're starting from the bottom on up. So it's real complicated in California. So let's get back to it.
Times during all of that.
So let's get to it when she starts to quote unquote misgender.
Biologically faster and stronger than
Okay. She said biological.
The dream I knew I could achieve as long as I worked hard and put my mind to it. And at 18, I was able to live out my dream. But current 10-year-old girls cannot live out the same dream as long as men are allowed to compete in women's sports. So now, no matter how hard girls are,
they mad now.
biological men can compete in women's sports.
You see here, dude in the background. You can't say that. The library dude, he's calling a lot of the shots. He sounds like a dumb. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. To be swinging this around, he sounds kind of dumb and lacking of the facts. To have that many people in your crowd, you seem to not have the facts. You were just gonna go up here and just say someone just told you that. Like, you ain't had the code. You ain't think she was gonna ask for the law? You know what I mean? So come on, let's get back to it. It's crazy.
They will never be able to be physiologically.
I will give you one warning.
One warning.
So no matter how hard biological girls work, they will never be able to be physiologically faster and stronger than biological men that are trying to compete.
Let me remind you. This is their speaking Yvette. like they rented a spot out. They want to speak to people who support them, who are like-minded with them. And then you have the LGBTQ protesters. They came in, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The LGBTQ protesters on this one, they are hella wrong for coming in and protesting this event just because they disagree with what the person's saying. Is not even threatening. It's just someone's opinion. It's not like she's threatening anything. So, and there's a long story how I even got here, because they're posting stories, wild stories, there was some bomb threat or something, I don't know. But it's crazy that they can't even hold their own event without, people showing up and telling them it's illegal. Kicking them out, shutting them down.
I appreciate that you are all showing your First Amendment rights.
All right, a different chick came in here. This is an attorney. This is the Queen Karen.
And that you are here today. But
She making good points though.
First Amendment rights, whether you believe in what I believe or whether I believe in what you believe. But as an American, I am allowed to have my First Amendment rights just like you are. I am allowed to believe what I believe. I could believe that the moon is made of cheese. And you may believe that the moon is not made of cheese.
You know what I mean? Like, huh? That's not the point.
The library here should be enforcing their own rules and asking people to leave who are interrupting my First Amendment rights. Friday. I am a licensed California attorney. I am a Democrat of 37 years. I voted for same-sex marriage.
Hey, hold on. I know the gay people heard that as, hey, I have a black friend. Like this, she's making a good point with the delivery. I voted for same-sex marriage. That's so funny. She making a good point, but it's hilarious the way she said that. Go ahead.
I think it's time for her to leave. She continues to interrupt. Why are my First Amendment rights not being abided by?
The Karens are out their seats. The Karens are attacking the speaker verbally. The multiple Karens are out their seats, heckling the speaker. And just to draw this out for you, when I look at this, I see a few young heads, but it's a lot older white folks in the crowd right now. The ones I see standing up are the older white folks, and they're kind of yelling at the younger kids, telling them, "Nah, you can't think that way."
Why are you afraid? No, listen, you don't have to agree. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm not here to convince. You can go on your way and believe what you want to believe. That's fine and dandy. But again, if you're here, so you're obviously here to listen to us. So listen.
Good point.
And you can excoriate us later. And you can do whatever you want to do and write your mean emails and dox us and send your Twitter feed. That's fine. That's what you're going to do. But you're here and we're going to speak. And if you don't want to listen,
goddamn right, Karen.
and I'm telling you right now that
Or Aaron. Her name's Aaron, my bad.
violates their own rules. Why? There's a bevy of attorneys here, and we love to file suit because that's what we do as attorneys. And we win on these First Amendment rights because, lo and behold, we all have them. Your First Amendment rights are not higher than my First Amendment rights. We all have them. And like I said, I'm excited that you guys are here. I'm excited that you have your signs and your flags. That's the American way, right? To voice your opinion. I like to voice mine. Can we do that? No, please.
Okay, I asked you to leave earlier, so I'm still following through with that.
All right, so the library dude, the dude running the library, supervise whatever position is, he is gun-ho on kicking out the first speaker still over her referring to the transgender women playing in women's sports as biological men. See, he that's not sitting too well with him. I don't know why it's so triggering, because it's the truth. But Mr. Scott Love, or whatever his name is, he is not cool with this. So he still want to kick out the first speaker. He's following through.
You cannot compel. You cannot compel my personal First Amendment rights. You cannot compel speech or a belief. We're not calling this person and saying you're a man or you're a woman. We're not talking about a particular person. We're talking about whether we believe in biology or not. We believe in biology.
Males and female support, okay? If you're not a transgender female,
I'm not going to have an argument with you.
I asked the other person to leave you from the other side, so I will shut the program down if that's what happens. Someone not listening, someone not leaving, when I've asked them to leave.
Go next. Aaron, why don't you give your talk? Okay.
Wait, so am I being removed from the meeting?
Yeah, let's make it clear. Let's make it clear. This one on the record.
Am I being removed from the meeting? I cannot finish what I was going to say. I can't finish my story, and I'm being kicked out of in the meeting in the library here.
I think all, excuse me, Sophia,
No,
I think all he's saying is we need to follow the rules of this space.
I wonder why she didn't say that.
I think that's all he's saying. Just like you've asked us to do that. Abide by the rules of the space.
I want to be clear.
No, it needs to be clear, sir.
What is this?
Please tell us again. You said it's
I need to know why I'm being told to leave.
Oh, she snatched the mic.
Can you tell me
snatched
why?
the camera up.
I was a speaker at this meeting. So I will leave the building if you can tell me why I need to leave the building.
If she does not leave the building, the program is shut down. We're done.
Oh,
I will
Karen.
leave the building. You just can I also get your name?
Ken
please?
tripping.
Or yeah, can I get your library? Thank you. Scott Love.
Scott Love. He ain't got no love. He ain't got no love. Oh, they kicked her out. They kicked her out. They have more to say though. Mr. Scott Love. I mean, I guess there was some on the phone call, man. They called him up afterwards. He don't want to hear it. He don't want to hear it.
Recognizes transgender as protected.
This is explanation.
And so I was telling her, if you're speaking about a transgender female, they need to be referred to as a female. Transgender male needs to be referred to as a male. And if there's any misgendering, we will ask if it's by any of the organizers. They will be asked to leave. There's no exceptions. If we're having problems in the audience, you know, we may get one warning. I'll be in there the whole time. So that's it.
Yeah, you know you're incorrect, by the way.
I'm sorry.
There's several courts in Vermont.
This is state law.
But you cannot impose a mandatory way of speaking or referring to someone
Well,
on public speaker.
this is treating people. This is under treating people with respect. If you're referring to a transgender female as a male, it is protected in the state of California.
Cutting people's tongues out. You can't tell someone how to speak or refer to other people, especially in a public setting.
That's it. I mean, I got. This is my direction. And
Can you call the police right now, please?
Yes, this is Scott
You're going
Love.
to physically ask us to move out. I want to be able to talk to the police and have him speak with Kim Jones.
Supervisor of California Public Library in Davis, California. I got family out there. Hold on.
yeah, they're not going to just come down here for something that may theoretically happen. So, like I say, as long as you don't do that, we have no.
Well, I'm going to read some news articles that correctly sex.
I'm sorry. No, this is a direction. I'm not having this discussion with them. Okay. I'm not comfortable with this. Please don't stick it in my face, okay? I'm not listening.
He's done.
I've given you what's going on. If it happens, you know, if you can't live within those constraints, then you don't have to have a meeting today.
Okay, so but could we say before we talk about somebody, this is my belief and this is what I see?
No.
Yeah, for sure.
No, you cannot, because under our code of behavior, you are not treating someone with respect. If you are calling them a gender they are not under state law, you are not treating them respectfully. That is what's happening. Okay, it's our code of behavior and treating someone with respect.
Wow, man. So they really swinging this the way it is. I got another update for y'all. Another update for y'all, because this is a little crazy. I think personally myself. This one is crazy. Is little wild. AB 957. I like to say Assembly Bill 957 yet to pass the Senate, but with the Democrats a strong hold of this bill. And Mr. Scott Wiener, not the lead sponsor. He let someone else be the lead sponsor on this one, but he's that co-author of this bill. He wrote it. You know what I mean? He's got this one, and this one's kind of crazy. This one's kind of crazy, I might say. And let's look at it. Let's look at this one. AB 957, right? Boom. So first and foremost, they want to make sure that the child's welfare is being considered during these moments, and the parent is properly affirming their child with their child's identity or gender expression, right? Because gender expression is going to lead to the transition. All right, but so the affirmation, right, is very important for the parents to do, and they're putting a law in the books, right? And that's the first one. Okay, parents like, fuck that shit, I ain't doing that. Number two, the number two is the abuse part. So if you're not affirming your child's identity, this is the same bill. This is the number two. It goes from parents need to the health and safety of a child, health and safety and welfare of the child includes, among other comprehensive factors, a parent's affirmation of a child's gender identity or gender expression. And that's A. That's number one. That's number one, right? So number two is a history of abuse by one parent or another person seeking custody against any of the following. Hold on. Let me soak this one in again. A history of abuse. Okay. So this one looks like they trying to take the kids away. So if you're not affirming your child and you're not meeting their health, safety, and welfare, then you're being an abusive parent. And I think that's just overall people are going to look at it. You know what I mean? If you are not looking out for that child's health, safety, or his welfare, then it's neglect, it's abuse, right? So in this case, this law is making it easier, I don't know, to someone who, this is where it gets confusing. A child whom the parent or person seeking custody is related by blood or affinity, or with whom the parent or person seeking custody has had a caretaking relationship, no matter how temporarily. The other parent, a parent, spouse. So these are people that are going to be able to take your kids away. So I gotta let this bill soak in a bit. I do want y'all to look into it, but it's really, really eye-opening. It hasn't passed the Senate right now. When I look at the just where it's at right now, the bill is currently on it finishes reading for the second time. It's ordered a third reading, so maybe the minority's requesting readings to slow it down. Doesn't say it's nobody. These are type of bills that Gavin Newsom, that gets passed out the Senate, Gavin Newsom signs, and no one speaks of it. And they only speak about when they want to brag about it, but not when it's like, hey, like, yeah, parents are gonna, yeah, y'all got to do this now, and they gonna make a law you can't even talk about the bills no more because you're gonna be misgendering people. So it's really crazy that we have to go through this amount of particulars, right? Legal laws involving one's child and how their gender expression is affirmed. I mean, for me, it's difficult to wrap my head around the fact that the government is going to, right? Okay, so they must be able to assess, have some sort of assessment tool, obviously, to say my child has some sort of misgender expression that's not being affirmed, or some sort of gender identity that is not being affirmed. They have to have some sort of tool to decide how my child's gender is being expressed or identified, right? So I don't understand how they expect parents, right, the people who take care of the kids, their whole life, after that 1 year, that teacher that wanted to change their life or didn't change their life, right? But it's always backwards because the kids actually change the teachers' lives. The kids go into the classroom ready to learn, and the teachers then are surprised that they don't have whole classes full of successful kids. They have a handful of successful kids. And the teachers are surprised how the successful kids that the parents had and been raising their whole life until they get them are good listeners, and they do really good and have good English, and they listen to you and they learn from you. Yes, those teachers that actually lives are changed by the students. Okay? Because ain't no teacher changing no kid's life that a kid don't need to be taken away from their parent. I don't know if I get what I'm trying to say there, but if a parent's doing a job, like, ain't no teacher gonna change your life unless it's the greatest teacher, unless it's a really great teacher. And guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, one out of 100, you're gonna have one of those teachers that are actually care that much about their students. Like every student, let's say 1 to 12, you may have one teacher out of all your years in school that actually made you a better person, not just did their job, right? So in this case, California wants to leave it to, I don't know if they're leaving it to the teachers or they're leaving it to the CPS to decide if the parent is affirming their child. So if you come across someone and your child is feminine and a boy and he acts feminine, and you're not affirming their identity or acknowledging their gender expression, then you may find yourself in some sort of legal trouble or losing your kids to your caretaker, their daycare worker who thinks that you're not doing it. So if I feel like they're leaving the door open for pretty much anybody who has a relationship with that kid, because you see the part where it's like, no matter how temporary, anybody who has a relationship with that kid can make these allegations of abuse, of lack of gender affirmation, and not acknowledging their gender expression. So imagine you're the babysitter, you know what I mean, putting on, there's a lot of manipulation going on, so I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but imagine the babysitter seeing something that they think you missed, and they feel like maybe you didn't miss it, or maybe you're just ignoring it, and they brought it to your attention, and you say, nah, my son, nah, he just like that. And imagine you being reported as an abusive parent for not acknowledging in this. If the state puts that kid through their little test, and the kid comes up to be, he's not as masculine as we thought he is, he's a 3-year-old or 5-year-old, then guess what? You may lose your child, So I really do hope this bill don't pass. But knowing California, they passed worse. The bill that reduced the penalties for LGBT criminals when they're molesting young children or children, or people under 18, people under 14, or over 14. I don't know, under 18 for sure. They reduced crime. They reduced it. They reduced the sentencing or the whatever, the mandatory or whatever it is. They made it up to the judge to make. There's no mandatory no more. Now the judge gets to decide, right? So it wasn't like that before. But Mr. Scott Wiener, he didn't push the AB 490. What was that one? AB 480 or something like that, man. Scott Wiener's been doing his job trying to put this little propaganda through, because at this point it's gonna be illegal to be straight. They're gonna put a law in the books that's gonna make it illegal because they're gonna find a reason. And guess what? They've already, like I said, through these laws, have kind of put in people's brain that it's the right thing to do is just to go with the flow on this. Oh, there's 73 different genders. Go with the flow. There is no two genders or two sexes. Go with the flow. I'm different than you. You're different than me. Go with the flow. We all like 99 point. We really similar. And that's the part that they just want to make people different. They want to create whole new avenues of victimization. And I'm not like using the word because it's a bad word. I'm using it because they use it to create privilege and passageways. You know what I mean? And it's not like, and the real victims never get that. You feel what I'm saying? So we get these, overprivileged people that's now claiming victimhood. So they're already privileged through this, just to being in America, right? And now they get to claim even more victimhood over the other privileged people. Like I said, this is called Karen versus Karen, right? So we got Karen claiming victimhood over Karen, right? And now we got Ken turned into Karen and now claiming victimhood over Karen. So it's like there's this hierarchy of like, okay, we got the white privilege, and now I could trump your white privilege with boom. Y'all thought it was, y'all thought the man was finna roll over? Y'all thought the man was finna just throw in the towel? Women outnumber us. You thought the men was finna just give up? Oh no, yeah. I talked to my bro. I said, bro, it's not the women's problem. It's the men's problem. The men are the ones they're the ones changing. When you hear about trans men, you don't hear about trans men. You don't. But trans women, they want to go in the bathrooms. They want to, you know what I mean? They want to do it. They want to have pregnancies and stuff. They want to have, they want to have period. You know what I mean? Like, they want to lactate milk, but they don't want to do none of that really. They just want to just walk around. I don't know what they want to do. All I'm going to say is, they a little bit extra when it comes to other ones. And it's the men. They men. They not women. They men. It's not the women. It's the men. It's still us, bro. We still the problem. Women thought they got us. They got us. They were like, we got them niggas. Hillary Clinton came through, and we got the Vic. They want to elect the women. Oh, we running the show now. You know what I mean? But damn, yeah, men done came through. You know what I mean? They done came through as women. What can you do now? And they Leah Thomas, competing in, I'm not gonna go through that story, but competing as a man in the same, divisions, and then switching to be a woman and then being a champion. So it gets real complicated when you talk about that. But I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all like, subscribe, comment, do all that. Please look up the law, California AB 957. Keep an eye on that, because that I'm gonna go through it some more. I'll probably do a whole another show on it, because that's gonna turn some necks, some eyebrows are gonna go up, some parents is gonna be feeling real uncomfortable in this state.